Gaming continues to expand across the country. Virginia lawmakers are wrestling with whether to legalize iGaming. Senate Bill 827 could make online casino games like blackjack, craps, poker, and slots available on smartphones and computers. Supporters argue internet gaming offers convenience by eliminating the need to travel and has been profitable for states that have already legalized it. But critics say it could hurt revenue and jobs at casinos and say iGaming is tied to elevated risk of gambling addiction. Lawmakers say 2 more subcommittee meetings are expected this year before the bill goes before the full General Assembly in January. And meanwhile, the Better Business Bureau says it has seen an increase in complaints and reports tied to online gambling and gaming. We have Julie Wheeler. She's the president and CEO of the BBB serving Western Virginia, joining us now to discuss how these scams are impacting folks in our hometowns and what you can do to protect yourself. Always great seeing you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure.
Yes, I know so many things that are changing in this industry, and it's very confusing. So let's start by saying, what is legal here in Virginia?
Well, in Virginia currently, sports betting and fantasy are legal.
Okay.
And sport games, or the type of games where you're not actually winning money, like you can be playing blackjack or whatever, the ones you can download for nothing and you're not actually winning any money. Maybe you get some coins to keep playing, but there isn't an actual payout.
No money
you haven't
exchange.
actually, yes.
Right, those are legal, right, okay. All right, so that's good to, just kind of decipher. Let's talk about the regulatory landscape. It is really confusing. What is making it so confusing?
Well, what happened was all online gaming used to be illegal from a federal level.
Right.
They abolished that law and just said it's up to each state to make up their own mind. So every state is so different. Now, Virginia, Maryland, and North Carolina are both all the same. Sports betting is legal, but you go to West Virginia and also casino online is legal as well as the sports betting.
Yeah.
You go to South Carolina and all of it's illegal. So, you kind of better pay attention to where you are.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some of the red flags or the patterns that your office is catching up on. What's happening?
Well, what we're seeing are, in Virginia, obviously there are sports sites that are registered, and that's what you want to do, you want to look at. So we're seeing middlemen that try to get in between you and the legal sports site that may be charging you additional fees, they may be taking your personal information, they may not be paying out. So if you're going to do it, you want to deal with one of the registered sites.
Okay, and how do we know if we're dealing with a registered site?
You can check online. You can just Google what sports sites are legal in Virginia, and that will help you. And then make sure that you type in the URL. Don't click on a link you receive, because there are ones that are like one letter off that act like they're the same thing. You want to be careful about using any that are out of the country. None of those are registered currently. There are some very big ones that operate out of the country. There's absolutely no recourse on those if you have an issue.
Yeah, so what are some of the issues that you're seeing?
Well, we see that they want you to pay in cryptocurrency or put crypto in. Cash apps are also questionable as far as trying to get your money back. Linking your bank account, where now they've got access to your bank account, is a big deal. They make promises of big wins. They guarantee you wins, which absolutely is always a red flag.
Yeah. Now, you're seeing a lot of people not reporting when they feel like they've been scammed. Tell me a little bit about that and why that is.
Well, think about gambling. You say, well, okay, well, I was gambling, so I guess I must have been meant to lose that money. So, you went into it with anticipation possibly of losing and not really realizing that maybe you weren't dealing with a legitimate site. So, it's important, if you think you got on a site that is acting like somebody else, that you report it, or if they're trying to get you to pay in crypto or making big guarantees, you can report it through our scam tracker anonymously, and that helps other people know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the big takeaway, is like really kind of warning others that these scams are out there, and just making sure that this doesn't happen to somebody else.
Well, and it's also, when you consider online gambling, there are gray sites, kind of gray. You know, it's not black and white as far as straight scams or legitimate. You know, some of the stuff is legitimate, some of it is kind of walking a line. So
Kinda
these
hazy.
are businesses making a lot of money. They exist. You know,
Right.
they're not true like they don't exist. They're just trying to piggyback on somebody else. They're there too, but it's that middle ones that we really want people to pay attention to.
Right, absolutely. Okay, and we do want to mention too, you know, if you do think that you or your loved one has a gambling addiction, be sure to get help. You can go over to their website. There's 1-800-GAMBLER, and then preventproblemgaming.org, which has a lot of great resources and information. But get the help that you need and protect yourself for sure. And Julie, we certainly appreciate all your help. And of course, you can report all those scams over on your website as well, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or call if you have questions. And we
Okay.
can try to help
All
you.
right. And there's the information. Of course, we'll have a link over on our website at WDBJ7.com. Thank you again. Appreciate it. All right. Well, despite the risk, many people are taking a big gamble tonight on this year's biggest Powerball jackpot.